Like, what do you think you did better at this time around when you took control overall as a group versus the last time around when I was taking more?
Last time when I was the leader,
Yeah.
I wasn't really the leader. You kept on doing everything.
Right. So what made it better this time?
You weren't doing everything.
I think
Okay. Excellent. Okay.
because
Okay, yes.
you were doing like last time you were doing everything to us.
Right.
No, that me and Charlotte were supposed to do for the leaders.
Okay. And so I was taking more control. And I think that this time I was better at stepping back a little bit more. I let you as a group solve more problems. But I wasn't perfect. And I want you to think about yourself too. What do you think you could work on for the next time? I'll tell you what I could work on for the next time. What could you in this activity have worked on for the next time to maybe do a better job? What do you think we have to still work on? What were some problems that we had that were made it harder at any point? You don't even, don't name names, you can just tell me generally. What were some things that maybe we needed to work on?
The leaders can go off the carpet.
Okay. Why was it a problem that other people?
Because, we were going off the carpet because it was boring and we wanted to do something else like go and see the marsh.
Okay. So if you thought it was boring to do it here, what could you do then that would make it more exciting for you the next time?
Do it on the carpet maybe.
But we were on the carpet.
And Sarah just said that everyone was getting up looking at the marsh because it was boring on the carpet, so why would you come here on the boring carpet the next time?
What do you think would make it better? If you weren't as excited by it, then what would make it better? Because the last time around, I suggested that if people didn't want to do it as a group, we could feed in a small group. But what did you say you wanted to do?
Class.
You said you wanted the class. So if you are saying that you're not as excited by it, by doing it as the class, then Sarah, what would make it better then?
As with a group, we can do it like this. We can, maybe.
Close the door.
Maybe we can all pick up the worms and we can go in little groups again so we can some of us can go to the marsh again and some of us can go and see the worms and some of us can, and after you go and see those two stuff, we can go and do some, stuff about worms.
Okay, but this part of the worm part was, what do we have to do at this point with the worms? What was our job?
To feed them.
Right. So if we were doing it as that, would we be able to all feed them? If we did a couple small groups, would we be able to all feed them at today? If we had done 2 groups, could 2 groups feed the worms today?
No.
Or why can't you take turns? One group feeds them a little bit of food, and the other group after them does the other last bit of food.
Okay, so then what would be...
But what about the spraying job? Because then this doesn't make sense in Aiden's, because what if all of the people don't want to do it and only lots of people want to do it and one person could only cut and they don't want to pass it around.
Okay, so then what jobs would be done by the first group and what jobs would be done by the second group of people?
Mm,
What do you think?
Maybe it could go first group
other jobs.
But what would be the first jobs to be doing?
Digger.
Okay, so the first group would dig. What else would the first group?
Breaker.
Okay, so the first group would break. What else would they do?
And then the second group would dig. Then the first group would fill.
Okay, but then what's the first group doing when, like, if the first group is breaking, what's the second group doing at that time?
Breaking. Looking inside the bin.
But that was what Sarah said people didn't want to do.
And if they don't want to,
Yeah?
they could look at the marsh.
Okay, so then does that mean that there's two whole groups where one group looks at the marsh and the other group and maybe talks about the marsh and the other group does the worms? Yeah?
What if the people in one group?
Yeah.
What if there's a lot of people in one group? I mean, what if there's no one who wants to go to the worms and there's only one person? And they want to be with someone else. And no one's with them. And everyone else, if I was saying, me, Lily, Dibby, and Shyla go to the worm, and Aiden, Ricardo, and Dana, and Rain go to the marsh. What if I want to go to the marsh and Shyla? What if I want to go to the marsh and Shyla wants to go to the thing?
The worm?
The worms.
Yeah.
But we're not allowed.
Well, who's saying you're not allowed? I'm trying to figure out if Sarah's saying, and maybe Sarah can come up with an idea here. If Sarah's saying that some people that they're not interested, well, you shouldn't be doing something you're not interested in doing, right? That doesn't make any sense. So if we're not interested, then when could or how could we feed them so that we're not hanging around?
We can have 4 groups. I would say that because maybe we can write about there.
Yeah.
We can talk about the marsh.
Yeah.
Go about the words and look at our plants.
Okay, but then how's that different than what we did in the morning as we looked and talked and did it?
No, if we want to do, if I want to switch, we can go to, have groups here. But wait, what if your group, what if,
hold on, one
you
second.
can have 4 groups. So if you guys want to switch, you can do.
Right, but
And then you can switch if this group wants to go that one or.
but what if they don't want to switch,
What
Dana?
if only you want to switch?
Right.
And what if Dana wants to switch and I don't? She would have to go to there by herself, and everyone gets to stay back at the marsh because they want it.
So
Dana doesn't want to be a marsh.
So maybe then tomorrow for a writer's workshop, those that care, those that feel really strongly on how we're supposed to do this and what they want, maybe they could work together on writing out a plan. Every week, I come up with a plan for what we're going to do. And I always change the plan based on what you say you want, but I kind of come up with a plan. Well, I have to come up with my plan each week and write it down. You need to be able to come up with yours. If you want a voice on what we're doing and how we're doing it, Dana, then what you need to do tomorrow is you need to write down a plan. What are people going to do? What will our room look like on Wiggly Wednesday? Where will people go? Who will feed the worms? What will their jobs be? What will everybody else be doing? Who thinks that they can come up with that plan? Okay? If you want a voice, write it down. And if not, what you're saying is, I don't care. Because that's kind of the same thing that happens even in a staff meeting.
Okay.
If I'm, as a teacher, if I want to say something, if I really care about something, I choose to say it, I choose to write it, I choose to go on a committee that helps make it happen. A group of people, just like you're going to be.
That's weird.
And if not, if I don't care about it that much, then I just let what happens, but then I can't complain.
Okay.
So, Who's willing to make a plan so that we don't complain?
Me.
And who's happy to just go along with the plan? They don't care what the plan is. Okay?